A historic day in court for the city of Detroit. Bankruptcy hearings are underway. And good afternoon to you. The country is watching the proceedings here in Detroit.
Now, right now, a hearing on whether to extend the Chapter 9 filings automatic freeze against any legal actions underway. This has to do with any lawsuits brought by city workers and retirees.
So we're going to get right to 7 Action News reporter Kim Russell has been watching the hearings in federal court. And Kim, how could this case affect people across the country?
No matter what the judge decides, today is huge because it sets a precedent that could put the pensions of public employees across the country at risk should their cities fall into bankruptcy. I'm joined by bankruptcy expert attorney Stuart Gold. Thanks so much for joining me.
Okay.
We've been in the court today, so tell me what the city is asking the judge for today.
The city is asking for a basic thing. They're asking for a stay of all actions, including what we've been hearing about up in Ingham County, against all players, against the governor, Governor Snyder, against the treasurer, Andy Dillon, and against anyone else connected with the city. That's the basic thing that they're seeking for from this judge this morning.
And listening to them in there today and listening to the creditors and attorneys for retirees talking and the pension funds, they are saying that this bankruptcy should never have been filed in the first place, that it's unconstitutional. Explain that.
Well, the judge tried to at the very outset. He says, I don't want to hear those arguments today. The basic things in front of me today are the stay actions against all these players. Nonetheless, it did creep in. They wanted to have their say as to the eligibility of this filing and the jurisdiction that this court had. And we had a classic tug of war in there, didn't we? We had the state players trying to say it's a state action versus the city of Detroit saying, no, 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 it's a federal action. And that's what's being played out right up front.
And listening to it today and hearing both sides argue, what do you think the judge is going to decide when he comes back at 2 o'clock with his decision?
That's a loaded question. From what I've heard and from what I've read, I believe he is going to grant this request. Now, he might not grant it as large as it's being requested because they're trying to encompass a lot of people in this, and he may narrow it down a bit. But he did indicate, he sort of tipped his hand a little bit. He says, whatever I do doesn't prevent anybody from coming back in front of me and saying, Judge, we need permission to what we call in our field to lift this stay in order to proceed with this action. So he's opening the door. He's saying, just because I make a ruling today that may prevent you from proceeding, come here first, and I may grant a relief from my order.
Well, thank you so much for joining me. And that is the bottom line. No matter what happens today, it can always be appealed. The judge, though, he has taken a break for now. He is going to come back at 2 o'clock, and that's when we are expecting his decision as to whether he will grant the city's request to put a stay on all legal proceedings against the city, which would mean that those lawsuits against the city would be on hold for bankruptcy court. Reporting live in Detroit, Kim Russell, 7 Action News.
So, Kim, how's the governor responding to all this?
Well, the governor, he has said, you know what, this petition needed to be filed. So he did not agree at all with this stance that the creditors, the attorneys for the retirees were taking, that it was unconstitutional for him to approve the city's filing of this bankruptcy petition. And the governor has said that he is going to appeal that state judge's decision. So he definitely wouldn't agree with those arguments in federal court today. Back to you.
All right, Kim, thank you.